Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I just want to go over a quick video here on how to service and do a PM service on your Thermo King Tripac APU. They recommend that I believe a minimum of once per year servicing it. I like to do mine twice a year. Once in the spring after winter and again in the fall just before going into winter, so that I'm on top of everything and just keep an eye on it, and extra servicing hopefully will ensure that it lasts me a good long time. These things are very expensive. They're, the cost of a good used car for just this little diesel motor and basically a small air conditioning and heating system. So it's worth the extra care, and it's not too hard to do. You can do it yourself here. And first I'll just kind of go over here what we need for supplies and tools to get this done. First, you're going to need yourself an oil drain pan, a funnel, some oil. Now I believe all these can take 5W40 synthetic or 10W30. I like to use this AMSOIL. Not everybody believes in it. That's fine. I've done some testing with it and had a lot of experience with it, and I really like it. Some people think it's overpriced hocus pocus, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to show you I use synthetic 10W30 diesel oil. It takes about 1.75 gallons. As part of your service kit, this is a filter wrench for the fuel filter. This is the air filter for under the bunk. You'll need one of those. Fuel filter. Obviously an oil filter. You'll need okay, for all the screws that are in this APU here that you got to take out, those are Torx head. They're a T30. So you either need a T30 with a ratchet drive or a T30 with a screwdriver set here. I like to use both, just for some spots are tighter than others. You'll need some sockets for your oil drain pan, a smaller filter wrench for the oil filter. A lot of times you can screw those off by hand, but just in case it gets stuck. And then there's an air filter in here. Well, just show you. Air filter, we'll get to that later. Now, just a little tip here to save you some money that's worth the price of watching this whole video. For your service kit, don't go to Thermo King. There's a website, thermobyproducts.com, THERMO byproducts.com. They beat the pants off of any Thermo King dealer for any part for your Tripac APU, for your reefer, for any Thermo King related item. They're far cheaper than any Thermo King dealer. This kit, fuel filter, oil filter, air filter, and the cabin air filter, I think was $21. That's about a third of what it is at my local Thermo King dealer. So just a tip there for you, and I hope that's worth the price of the video here. So coming over here to this is a Tripac Evolution. Okay, so you've got one here on both sides, one here on both sides. This one doesn't have to come all the way out. It hinges. You can just loosen this one, and you got two up here. Take these two out on each side. Actually, I'm sorry, this one doesn't need to come out all the way there. It's open on the bottom. So anyway, deal with all those, pull this off from up here. We're gonna get at the air filter. I'm gonna pull that off here, and we'll check everything out. I like to check the belts and everything while I'm in there. And good job for the ratchet. Okay, we're down here on the bottom now. This is the front of the Tripac. Got a screw on either side on the front that needs to come out. And then on the side, there's one here, one here. All you have to do is loosen them up. And then same on the other side. And then on the back there, just that one has to be loosened up. And it'll pivot. And you can kind of pull it off like that. But I need both hands to do it. So we'll set the camera down here for a minute. All right, for the oil drain pan here, you need a 19mm socket. Fits real good. So I'm gonna drain that baby. Let her drain for a minute. We'll go work up top while it's draining and change some filters up there. I did warm up this thing a little bit. I ran it for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Get the oil warmed up, it'll drain more completely and get more out of there. Of course, like everything else, when you pull this plug here, check for metal on it. That is actually super duper clean. There's not so much as a flake on that thing, so we're in good shape there. Looking good. Okay, we're gonna let this drain for a while. Go back up to the top side and change our oil filter, fuel filter, air filter. Check out the belts. All right, back up top here. One thing I neglected to mention, and I apologize for that. Before you start doing anything here, shut the power switch off. Just kill the power to it so it doesn't try and fire up while you're doing anything by accident. And run with no oil in it, or pinch your fingers in something or whatever. So here's our belt right here. You can see this actually looks really good. It's in great shape. It's not that old, so we're good there. Some of the older ones have, when you refill the oil, they have a cap here, cap here. This is where you fill it. See, down lower on the engine. Don't ever fill it up in the head here. You will destroy the motor. Oil will pool up in the head. You'll bend valves. Could do way worse damage, and you will destroy this motor. So always down here, very important. Here's our oil filter. Here's our fuel filter. Air filter's right here. We'll start with changing that thing there. It's really simple. Got a couple clips here. Okay. Wiggle her on out. Pull your cap off. There's your air filter. It's pretty dirty. That's only 6 months old. That's why I changed this, serviced this thing more than the recommended intervals. Obviously the whole side goes in first, just like the other one came out. Just press it into place. We're just going to wipe this out a little bit, clean it up a little. Okay. Put it in the same way she came out. And you just got to clip your clips back in. Bottom one can be a little difficult to get your arm in there. Not too bad though. There we go. There, clip down nice and tight there. So now we'll move on to the fuel filter. Just got it. There, we got it loose. Oops, one-handed here, see if we can get her out. Okay, I have the new fuel filter here. Put a little oil on my finger and went around the gasket. When you fill these, fill them through the little holes. That way the filter goes through the, or the fuel goes through the filter. This is clean fuel, but you want to not be dumping it right in the middle there. You should always fill the fuel filter like that. You got to fill it right up to the top here, so it's pre-primed. Gotta let her soak in a little bit. Add some more. There. We got her full right up to the top there. Put it in here and spin her on. You don't really need to use a wrench to tighten this up, but I got fuel all over my fingers and it's slippery, so I'm just gonna snug it up here. I'm not really running it down or nothing. I'm just getting it tight against the base and giving it like a half turn, 3/4 of a turn. There we go. Okay. Now this little oil filter here. Sometimes you can, yep. Usually spin them off by hand here. I just have a wrench handy just in case. You won't make too much of a mess because generally the oil drains when you pull the plug. But just wipe that up a little bit in there. Just make sure none of your gas gets stuck to the base here. Same with the fuel filter. Clean her up a little bit. Okay. This new oil filter though, we don't need to prime that. But I'm just gonna put oil around the gasket here. Here, now we'll spin this baby back on. You can't prime it anyways because you're flipping it sideways here and the oil will just run out. Snug it up. No need to crank on it. Just get it, in contact with the motor and then, half, 3/4 of a turn. Plenty. So we're pretty much done inside here. We changed the air filter, oil filter, fuel filter, check the belt. Just take a gander around in here for any obvious bad wiring or anything, any kind of rubs, anything hanging loose. I don't see anything at all. Looks really good. So we'll put the drain plug back in down here. Now this drain pan is just aluminum, so when you tighten this down, I'm sure there's a torque spec for it, but when they sell you a Thermo King now, a Tripac, they don't give you any kind of information on how to service anything yourself. You want it to go all to the dealer. They tell you what kind of oil to use, and that's about it. You can't even read the codes on them, like the old style ones with the digital control. So just right here it's snug, so I'm just gonna, that's like a 1/4 turn, because you don't want to strip it out in this aluminum oil pan here or crack it. There, we're good. Let's add some oil to this thing. All right, here's the full mark. I'm just a touch over that to account for filling the oil filter when it starts up. So we took just a touch under 1.75 gallons. So get this closed up here. Okay, we'll just end this part here. Turn your power switch back on. Okay, then go in the cab, start this thing up. Check for leaks around your oil and fuel filters. If there's a leak, take care of that. Check your oil level again. Then you're all done here. The case, you just put it back on in the reverse of what you took it off. All we got left to do is change this filter inside the cab. I'll come back and show you how to do that in a little bit. But if you're ending the video here, just remember, thermobyproducts.com. Fill your oil down here, not up here. But I hope you stay tuned for the rest of it. Okay, this is where it draws the air in for your heating and air conditioning. You got a fresh air filter right here. So you just got some clips in each corner, 4 corners. I've undone 3 of them. Just clip it off like that. Pull the lid off. Here's your old one. You can see here, she's pretty dusty and dirty. So set that one aside. See if I can do this with one hand here. Wiggle this new one on down in there. Looking good. And then make sure you tuck the top in here so it seals you up good. There we go. And then we just got to go around and tighten our put our 4 clips back on. You just go like that. I'll need to set the camera down to do the other 3. But now you also have back in here, that's your bunk heater. Okay, there's a couple things we do to service them once a year, but we'll do another video on that. Call it something else just so you can see how to do each one individually. So it's pretty much all you do to service your APU. Like I said, I do it every 6 months, you know, to be on the safe side. Take really good care of it. They cost a lot of money. So I hope that video helped somebody somewhere, and we'll see you next time.